I was the chief of police, I could say, in all honesty, sir, there was no quota given to us. Let's say, in a week, dapat meron kang arrest na 5 o may...
Siya. Hindi ko alam kung LC tayo nun, chairman. Talagang yung mga police, inutusan talaga na mag-intensify sa laban sa drugs. And siguro that's the reason kung bakit mataas yung reporting ng year 2016 na umabot siya ng 4 million.
Ito ang Wow Trending Quadcom hearing sa November 21, 2024, Thursday. Kansilado na. Ito ang ipinadalang sulat ng House of Representatives sa Committee on Dangerous Drugs, Public Order and Safety, Human Rights and Public Accounts. Please be informed that the joint public hearing originally scheduled for Thursday 21 November 2024 9:30 a.m. at the People's Center Building, House of Representatives has been cancelled and until further notice. Kanina nga nagsagawa ng pagdinig ang Committee ng Dangerous Drugs, Public Order and Safety. Dito nga ay dinipensahan ni PNP Information and Spokesperson Colonel Jane Fajardo ang lahat ng mga paratang ng mga congressman na nag-iimbestiga sa Administrasyong Duterte sa programa nito sa tukhang. Ayon pa kay Colonel Jane Fajardo na hindi totoo na merong quota system sa panahon ni former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Base kasi sa survey na nakuha ni Congressman Dan Fernandez na noong taong 2004 daw ay merong 6.7 million ang mga gumagamit ng illegal na shab-shab. Hindi pa daw dito kasama ang mga tulak. Biglang bumaba naman ito pagdating ng taong 2008 na merong total na 1.7 million na lang. At sa taong 2015 ay merong 1.8 million na lang. Pero ikinagulat ng mga congressman dahil pagdating sa taong 2016, bigla itong tumaas at umabot ng 4 million. Dinipensahan naman ito ni Congressman Richard Gomez na noong mga panahon na si former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte pa ang presidente, mayor naman siya ng Leyte na kaya dumami yan dahil seryoso noon ang administrasyong Duterte sa kanilang kampanya kontra illegal na shab-shab.
Mr. Chair, marami pong salamat. The issues raised by the Honorable Barbers have not been answered. Number one, nasaan na po yung 6,000 plus na firearms? Wala pa naman sumasagot po sa inyo eh. Where are they? Nasaan? Are they not considered to be pieces of evidence and therefore in the custody of evidence custodians? Nasaan?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, sir, may I reply?
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, since it is part of the evidence, sir, I'm just assuming, sir, it's in the custody, sir, of forensic group, but we will relay, sir, this concern, sir, to the concerned office and probably ask them, sir, to submit the report, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, may I move that the PNP submits an inventory of all the firearms which were recovered from every crime scene involving illegal operations against illegal drugs.
There's a motion to submit all those documents pertaining to those firearms.
Yung inventory.
Oh, yeah, inventory.
We find out there are 6,000.
Well, there's a motion. After the motion, I'll be recognizing Colonel Balones. So, any second motion? Duly seconded. Any objection? Hearing none, the said motion is now approved. Colonel Balones, please.
Your Honor, sir, I thank you for recognizing me. I would just like to inform the body that from July 1, 2016 to June 30, 2022, the 9,698 firearms related to the drug cases were under the custody of forensic group. The 1,424 were either turned over to the court or prosecutor. And the 8,274 are under the custody of the PNP forensic group.
Okay.
May I know why only a certain number were submitted to the court as pieces of evidence, and the others, a greater number, because with the custody of the forensics unit of the PNP?
I have a statement here, if I may be allowed to read. The majority of the firearms seized in connection with the war on drugs were predominantly loose and homemade firearms, meaning they were unregistered or illicitly obtained, of which some are they are illicitly obtained. These firearms are being used by various criminal elements, including drug syndicates, and are often employed in violent confrontation with law enforcement. So, they were found intact and properly kept in their respective forensic group evidence rooms. Now, as to the questions of why there were only 1,424, this matter will be referred back to the records of the case, to give you, Your Honor, the appropriate answer.
When you say that they are with the forensics group, they're not considered as pieces of evidence, and they were not found in the crime scene. Is it not proper that all firearms recovered in the crime scene are considered pieces of evidence and therefore to be submitted with the courts?
Yes, Your Honor.
And why are they still in the possession of the forensics unit of the PNP?
Well, our record says that 1,424 were turned over.
The question, Colonel, is why.
We will
Please answer the question why. It starts with the word because.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, may I be allowed to answer, sir? Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, Your Honor, with respect to the question of Congressman Acop, sir, there are cases, sir, that the court will have the final disposition whether particular evidence, including firearms, should be submitted before the court. There are courts, sir, kasi sir, nagre-refuse to take custody, sir, ng mga barrel, even some pieces of evidence, because they don't have a proper storage. So some of this evidence, I presume, sir, retained by ang forensic group, sir, ang nag-retain ng custody. But just the same, sir, because there's already a instruction for us to submit the inventory, sir. We will submit, sir.
Yeah, the reason why I'm asking this question simply because it has been a question asked also by civilians. Kung 6,000 plus yung incident, there should be 6,000 firearms. Kasi ang rason po ninyo, nanlaban eh. Di po ba? That is precisely the question. Nanlaban. Kasi according to our reports, there were orders then for the PNP to procure firearms from Cebu, yung gawaan ng Paltic doon sa Danao, para magamit. Para hindi isang firearm yung pinaglilipat-lipat. Okay? Now, on the issue of quota, sabi po ninyo, wala pong quota. Would that be correct? Yun po yung second issue ni Honorable Barbers eh.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, sir, I will be speaking.
Teka, iya.
Yes,
Ikaw
sir.
ba yung nag-take your oath? Briefing lang? Okay. Go ahead.
Bro, before you proceed, no, the chair would like to acknowledge the presence of Chairman Abante and Congressman Luis. So go ahead, Chairman Acop.
Yes, please answer my question, Madam.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, sir, I will be speaking in my capacity as during the time of the Duterte administration, the Bukag War, sir, I was the chief of police. I could say, in all honesty, sir, there was no quota given to us. Let's say, oh, in a week, dapat meron kang arrest na 5 o may killed ka na. There was no written whatsoever, even verbal instruction to us to come up with a number of arrests in a week's time. However, probably, sir, some of the station who were really at the height of their career, sir, would like to impress their superiors and deliver some accomplishment. Probably, sir, the pressure is really there during that time to deliver accomplishment. But in all honesty, sir, yung quota, sir, there's no specific policy given to us, either written or verbal, sir. At least, sa personal kong experience, sir, as during my time as COP and even my time during provincial director, sir.
Thank you. So you only speak for yourself when you were a chief of police. Now, may I know, doon sa implementation ng O-Plan Double Barrel, the first aspect is O-Plan Tokhang. Hindi ba kasama doon sa pagre-report ninyo, sa accomplishment report, yung mga nagiging chief of police or station commanders before, ay kailangan may matokhang kayo na number of houses?
That is correct, sir. When we speak sir of the number of tokhang conducted, sir, the chief of police were required to submit reports. How many houses, how many drug users were visited and undergone tokhang, sir. That I could confirm, sir.
And totoo ba yung kwan na sa isang buwan ay dapat meron kayong 50 households na matokhang?
Sir, during my time, wala, sir, ganun, sir, na dapat. Depende po kasi yun, sir, eh. Kasi, sir, yung magiging subject po, sir, ng house visitation will depend on the number of drug personalities reported by the BADAC. So, hindi po talaga yung efforts na i-exert, sir, ng particular station probably might differ doon sa ibang mas maraming drug personalities. So, wala po talagang specific numbers given to us po, sir.
Okay. Granting without accepting your proposition or your statement, is it not also correct na yun po ay basehan ng pagpropromote po ninyo ng inyong mga tauhan?
Like I said, Mr. Chair, Your Honor, earlier, sir, na nandun yung pressure definitely, sir, for the station commanders to deliver accomplishment. So probably, sir, that really triggers the intention to really deliver accomplishment in terms of arrest and probably of some...
So indirectly, nagkakaroon po sa kaisipan ng inyong mga membro, ay nagkakaroon po ng kaisipan na dapat ma-reach ko yung quota. Kasi nagpapasikatan na sila, nagpaparamihan. Would that be correct?
Possibly, sir. Possibly, sir.
Possibly. So, Honorable Barbers, that I think answers your two issues raised.
Okay, thank you so much. Kasi hanggang 12:30 lang po talaga tayo. But, meron kasi nga, ako ba bakit tayo hanggang 12:30 lang daw eh. But, sa iyo, Dagoak muna.
I would just like, Mr. Chair, to move that the next hearing we will invite Representative Pampao, no, from Public Attorney's Office, because basically this committee hearing, no, the objective or the purpose is to give legal assistance, no, doon sa mga kaso ng mga pulis. So we will invite a representative from PAO so that we can ask if at present, no, the PAO can create a special unit for the purpose.
Okay, thank you so much, Congressman Dacook. We'll be inviting the PAO head, no?
DBM, Mr. Chair.
And also what?
DBM, Mr. Chair.
DBM?
DBM, yeah. Para malaman natin, okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll be inviting also the DBM. I wanted to show you something before. Kung wala na pong iba, I'll be showing lang muna yung isang presentation. Kasi ito, survey to that was conducted by the Policy Studies, Research and Statistics Division of the Dangerous Drugs Board. Ito yung mga, I wanted to show you, ito yung kinonduct na survey. Noong 2004, yung pong policy studies, research and statistics division ng dangerous drugs, nag-conduct sila noong 2004 ng survey. Ito data to 6.7 million drug users. Noong 2008, the same survey that they conducted, bumaba yung ating drug users, naging 1.7 million drug users na lang. And then suddenly, noong 2015, after so many years, 1.8 drug users. Yan po yung sinabi ni Benjamin Reyes. Siya po ang dating chairman ng DDB, na 1.8 million noong 2015, according sa survey na yan. Then, nag-jump siya ng 4 million because this person, si Benjamin Reyes, was issued an order from the former president to be relieved from his position. Dahil mali nga daw yung 1.8 dahil dapat daw 4 million yung drug users. I just wanted to show sa inyo na 2004 to 2008, according sa survey, that's the reason why we will be inviting the Policy Studies Research and Statistics Division of the Dangerous Drugs Board. Para malaman natin what is the reason why bumaba yung drug users from 2004 to 2008 from 6.7 to 1.7. Even without the war on drugs that was implemented noong 2016, bumaba naman pala tayo eh.
Mr. Chair.
4 million to justify.
Yes. Kaya we wanted to find out what was the reason for this substantial reduction of drug users from 2004 to 2008. Hindi po ako nagsasabi nito Survey po to that was conducted by the Dangerous Drugs Board. So we want to find out ano yung policy that were conducted during the time that lead to substantial reduction of drug users. And why from 2015, it was increased to 4 million drug users. So, yan yung po ating pag-uusapan sa susunod na hearing. Huwag na po natin pag-usapan ngayon because wala na po tayong oras. Pinaalis na po tayo dito. But because wala na po tayong time, we will be accommodating lang Congressman Richard Gomez and kung sino pa po iba, then we will be suspending this hearing. Congressman Richard Gomez, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, ngayon ko lang nakita itong data na ito. But initially, ang aking impression dito, Mr. Chair, there is a big possibility that during the time of 2008 and between 2008 and 2015, baka hindi intensified ang pag-raid sa case ng mga drugs. Because in 2016, when the President Duterte sat, there was a strict order na magkaroon ng fight against drugs. So na-intensify yung laban sa drugs. Kaya maraming nare-report ng mga cases. Kaya tumaas ito. And that's the reason, if I remember right, Mr. Chair, I don't know if that was during the inaugural SONA ni President Duterte or one of his press conferences. Sinabi niya na the reason na gusto niyang gawin itong fight against drugs is because the Philippines is already becoming a narco state. Or parang sinabi niya, we are already in a state of narcotics. Parang it's something to that effect. That is why na-intensify yung fight against drugs. And that is isusupport na ako yung sinabi ni General Fajardo na during the time na COP siya, hindi ko alam kung LC tayo nun na chairman, talagang yung mga police, inutusan talaga na mag-intensify sa laban sa drugs. And siguro that's the reason kung bakit mataas yung reporting ng year 2016 na umabot siya ng 4 million.
Yes. Yun ang ating pong pag-uusapan sa next hearing, no? Yung sudden jump from 1.8 to 4 million. And at the same time, ano yung policy that was implemented from 2004 to 2008 until 2016? Kasi mababa po siya 6.7 tapos naging 1.7 tapos naging 1.8 lang yung mga drug users. And then suddenly nag-jump. So yun po tayo sa next hearing.
Mr. Chair. quick.
Okay, Congressman Luis.
May I just suggest that we invite the focal person of whoever conducted this survey?
Yes,
So we will hear what parameters they considered in conducting and coming out with those figures.
andito po siya sa PSRSD conducts nationwide household survey. We will be inviting this group. No, under din siya ng dangerous drugs yung survey na yun i-ano natin, i-confirm natin tong validate natin tong nakita natin report sa kanila. Ako, I was really also shocked, no? Sabi ko, bakit? From 2004, 6.7 million drug users, biglang bumaba siya, naging 1.7.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Congressman Abante.
drug users lang ba yan o drug pusher? Drug users.
Ito may liwanag, Chairman Abante. The board has already conducted 2 nationwide surveys under the Public Act 9165 in 2004, which resulted with an estimated 6.7 million drug users, and in 2008, an estimated 1.7 million drug users, respectively, at the time those surveys were conducted. So, we need to invite them para malaman natin.
Pero hindi pa kasama, Mr. Chair, yung drug pushers dyan.
Drug users, nakalagay.
Drug users lang.
Yes. So, para ma-expound natin yung survey na ginawa nila, we'll be inviting them over and bring all those surveys they use para makita natin ano rin ang ginamit nilang parameters, why a sudden drop yung mga millions from 2004 to 2008 We need to find out.
Mr. Chair, di ba yung
Congressman Dito.
Di ba pusher user din?
Hindi natin. Anyway, kung wala na po tayo, Chairman Karaps.
Before we suspend, Mr. Chairman, we may also invite the representative from PDEA and the Dangerous Drugs Board, Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman.
So there's a motion to invite those personalities. Any second the motion? Duly seconded. Any objection?
Second the motion. Can we invite the former PDEA Director General? Kasi mas marami nasasagot yun kaysa kay DG Lasso Kasi yung pag-usapan natin yung during his time. Sino ba? Si Wilkins?
During this time? During that time, sino ba?
Si Wilkins. Can we invite
Yes, we'll be inviting him over as well. Sakino and Wilkins. Yes. Okay, there's a motion to invite those personalities as well. No objection? Right. So, any more? There's a motion to suspend. Duly seconded. This hearing is now suspended. Thank you. Monday po tayo, Monday